I thought today it would be helpful to talk about garlic. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you. I do not like raw garlic, and even when garlic is cooked, mixed in with a food, if you put too much in there, it gets to me. However, if I roast garlic, boy, when garlic is roasted, it just transforms magically, and it mellows out, and it just kind of adds a subtle, wonderful presence. So I just wanted to show you a couple of methods of roasting garlic. So let's see. Let's start with just using the regular bulbs. If you had, elephant garlic works really well because it's so big. But if you just had some small whole bulbs like this, just kind of, rub off the extra skin that you can. All right, and do the same. Do the same with, oops, that broke off. Well, anyway, and okay. Boy, it is messy. But we're just gonna do it this way for now. All right, that's the first layer of stuff rubbed off. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a little olive oil and just toss them a little bit. Just soften them up a little bit, soften those skins up. Oops, let me move that. Thanks, honey. All right, so that's great. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna pop that in an oven. It could be, 350 oven, 450 preheated oven. Doesn't really matter too much. So I'm just gonna set those in here. And the smaller bulbs might get done in as quick as 20 minutes. We'll check it. And the bigger ones might take a little longer, but we'll do some checking with that. The other way you can roast garlic, or let me just throw that down. They sell garlic. This is how I usually buy garlic. They sell it in these packets that come individually wrapped, and you can certainly roast from that. Very convenient. You don't have to be smashing and peeling. But what I really do, when I'm going to get serious about roasting garlic, I buy the big bag. I think you can get this at Costco or some other like restaurant supply stores. But I get the big bag, and because I'm going to do a lot at once. The thing about garlic, fresh garlic, does not last very long once the package is opened. But roasted garlic lasts indefinitely. It's amazing. It's like my favorite thing. But what I have done, you noticed, I've got 2 bowls here of garlic. What I have done is I bought the big bag. All right. Woo! Okay, I bought the big bag, and I just kind of quickly sorted through there. And I'm taking all the medium and larger cloves. Let's see. Okay. I'm separating them because I want them to be kind of the same size when I roast these batches. Okay, those look smaller, so I'm going to take that and oops, there's a couple of larger ones. Okay, so all the small guys are in this bowl, and all the bigger ones are here. And give me another close-up here, Roger. I wanted to show folks something. Sometimes you'll see a clove that has this it's like a woody tip. Make sure you break that off or cut it off, because we really don't want that included in the roasted garlic. So I'm going to transfer these larger bulbs, and I don't see any more of those woody tips. Okay, they're looking pretty good. And I'm just going to take a little olive oil, just like we did before, and we're going to toss those. All right, let me wipe my hands. And actually, you could have done this without getting your hands dirty by just going to your pan, pouring the cloves in there. This is a 10-inch saute pan for, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 cups. And then you can just do a little squirt. Woo! Lose a few. And we're going to take this to the stovetop. I love this method of roasting. It's just so easy, and I'm going to turn the heat down to pretty low. And we're just going to let those cook with the lid on for, I don't know, 10 minutes, and we'll come back and check it and see how things are going. See you in 10. We're back checking on our garlic that is roasting. It's been in the pan for about, 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. I've had it on low heat. And come over here a little closer. You can see that they're browning. Some of these are browning a little more quickly than I would like, because we have to roast them until they are tender to the touch. So I'm going to turn my heat down even lower. There we go. A little lower. Put the lid back on, and we'll check it again in another 10 minutes or so. See you then. We're back in the kitchen with our garlic that's roasting, and I have to tell you, it smells wonderful. Wonderful. So let's check and see how things are going, okay? Ooh, I like this. Oh, look at this. They're getting golden in color. Oh, man. They're still not really soft. You want them to be very soft to the touch. Next time I'll get a fork to check them. But let's allow these to cook for another 10-minute period, and we'll come back and check. We're back with our garlic roasting. I think this is going to be our final check. So come on over here. It's been cooking for maybe, 35 minutes, these larger cloves. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Gosh, that's lovely. And you can tell, they're falling. They're very nice and tender. That's good. We want them so they poke easily with a fork. And just a little reminder, I bought a big bag. I sorted through here. These are the smaller cloves. And I think I'm going to be cooking these in a second batch. But they will cook at its, because they're smaller, they'll cook a lot quicker. But these are very nice. Oh, I'm very pleased. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to put the lid back on. We're going to cut the heat. And we're just going to let them sit for 10 and 15 minutes. They're going to cool a little bit. And any that weren't quite soft enough, in these next 10 or 15 minutes, they're going to be just melting. And that's where we want them. So, see you back then. And I almost forgot about the garlic that's roasting in the oven. So let's check on that while the other is just kind of sitting. I've had these in for the same length of time, probably the 35 minutes. The oven was set at 400. I'm going to turn that off. Let's see. Let's check these, shall we? The way to check to know if they're ready is to just squeeze them. They're a little hot, but boy, if they squeeze tender, and these are squeezing, oh, lovely, then they're done. So we're just going to let these sit here on the counter while the other is sitting on in the pan with the lid. And we'll check it in a few minutes and figure out, and I'll show you the next step to getting all the wonderful garlic out, and we'll talk about some great uses. We are back with our roasted garlic, and now we're going to see how to get the goodness out of these cloves. So here was the elephant garlic. Boy, and these individual cloves just broke right off. And oh man, I'm just gonna look at that. So good. I'm just gonna sort of put that in there. Normally, you would take, if you were doing a bunch of cloves, yes, a smaller regular clove, you would take a knife, and I like to use a serrated knife, and you would simply, oops, let's get as many of the skins off as we can. This is important. So let's take a moment, get the skins off, and then we start at the bottom, and we just kind of, can you see that? It's just oozing out. It's awesome. All right, there's that. Very nice. Okay, and if we were to do another one, tops off. And you go down, I don't know, half an inch, it just depends. And again, oh, I forgot to take off that outer layer of dried skin. You really want to do that. That's important. And there's no getting around this. This, if you do it this way with whole bulbs, it is going to be a little messy, but still delicious. Okay, so there's that. And then, if you wanted to take these elephant bulbs, you can just, they're just so soft. They're just falling right out. So that is actually a good thing. So you would go through here and, oh, look at that. Nice. Okay, let's put all the scraps there. Let me wipe my fingers. But let me show you what's really cool is the ones that I did in the pan. Let's take a look at those. I'll set this aside for a bit. Set this over here. So the ones that have been in the pan have been cooling with the lid on. Look how lovely those are. Yum. And I'm just going to transfer them to the food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you can store them like this, in an airtight container. You can just store these whole in an airtight container and use them whole or chopped. Or you could, if you think you're going to be using them minced, then you could just put it on your cutting board and just go through and mince those. Or what I like to do is we're just going to transfer those to the processor. And hang on a second. Let's see. Ooh, let me wipe this down. I'll show you in just a minute. I'm just wiping down the sides, and we're going to do that one more time. All right. Okay. Take a look at that. It's just all mashed. And I think this is the easiest way to handle that garlic. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to transfer this to, once again, a nice, clean, airtight container. And I don't know if you remember my mentioning this, but the shelf life of this roasted garlic is measured in months. It is pretty amazing. And you can use roasted garlic, just as you can interchange it with all your recipes that call for just regular fresh minced garlic. I love to add like a little bit of this to a salad dressing. Or the other thing I love to do is I like to take some mayonnaise and add some to mayonnaise. And then, where's my spoon? Well, I'll use a fork here. Stir that up. And once again, this would keep, if you made a big batch of this, it would keep forever. And just use that as a sandwich spread. It is delicious. So roasted garlic is just sort of in a food group all by itself. Play around with it. You've got lots of time to use this up because it doesn't go bad. Keep it in the fridge, covered in an airtight container. Use any one of these methods, and I think you will feel like you've discovered a most wonderful food.